Oh. Thank you. Appreciate the support. Hello. Sorry it took me so long to come back into live. As soon as I got done eating, I took a nap because I hadn't slept since dialysis. I'm not entirely awake right now. I'm still half asleep. Oof. I am doing okay as to be expected. You have a great weekend. Appreciate you. Faith is not a pathway to truth. Faith is a pathway to ignorance and harm. Yes, I am an atheist. The guest requests are open if people want to have a conversation. I don't wear devil symbols. This doesn't represent the devil. Not even a little bit. Maybe check your history before you make comments you don't know. All right. Well, if you don't like my content, you don't have to be here. That was easy. Look at that. Big Bang made everything, space, time, all matter, energy, and then evolution. That's how human life got here. I just explained it. Look at that. Amazing. If you have 1,000 followers and the ability to go live, and you believe in a God, jump into the guest request. We can have a conversation about it. We don't know that anybody made the Big Bang. How do you know it wasn't a natural cause? No, I do not believe in karma. And I can guarantee you don't even understand what karma is. You have this cheap fortune cookie version of karma in your head, but you don't know what real karma is. How do we know the Big Bang happened? Microwave radiation background and other observations. This is all easily Googleable. You can research and read this. I'm not hurt or sad. at all. Oh, yes. If there's ever painting had a painter, then there must be a painter. Jesus. We have evidence of people painting things. We do not have evidence of a God creating a universe. Sorry. Doesn't exist. It's not a thing. No, I do not believe we live in a simulation. And even if we did, it wouldn't matter. If you want to be able to go live with me, you need 1,000 followers. And you have to have the ability to go live. And then you have to send in a guest request. Yeah, faith is not, again, not a pathway to truth. Faith is a pathway to ignorance and harm. Your cell phone isn't built on faith. There is no my parents fucked. That's how I was created. Pretty simple. All right, we have a guest request. Hello.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Good yourself?
I know, it's another day. I had a question for you, Mr. Ethan, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Do you like pineapple on your pizza?
No.
Now I'm really confused.
It's gross. It's gross, gross.
That's my man right there, a man of culture. That's what I'm talking about. I don't even care that you don't believe in God anymore.
I
Go
like
get pizza.
pizza. I
Yeah, I
like
like
pizza. And I
pizza
like
too.
pineapple, but those two things need to stay separate.
That's damn right. That's literally all I wanted to know. You have a good night, Ethan.
Me too. Thanks, man. No afterlife. I have no evidence to support the claim that there is an afterlife.
And so I was just talking to another gentleman a little bit ago about this afterlife. So we were talking about he was a Satanist, and him and I were kind of just discussing the realm of possibilities between all religions, right? So we talked about God and afterlife, and the main thing that I brought up to him was, and hi, my name's Mitch, man. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you
Uh,
too.
so like we were talking about whenever you die, your body dumps a shit ton of dopamine and fucking DMT into your system, dude.
Yep.
And it makes people see what you can see now as being alive if you were to take ayahuasca or DMT. Like
Well, it's an evolutionary product of the brain that relieves anxiety and tension at the moment of death.
yeah, that's about it, man. And you can experience it as you're alive right now with ayahuasca and DMT, man. Like you can see
Yeah, the
God.
problem with that though is that using psychedelics to medically microdose for depression, bipolar, PhD or PTSD, those things that's a field that's growing and we're learning more information about it. But using that shit recreationally is gonna burn your fucking brain out, and you're just gonna turn it into rubber, and you're gonna be sitting
No,
in
for
like
sure.
you're sitting on your couch drooling on yourself.
No, 100%, man. Ayahuasca, DMT, shit like that is not recreational use drug, man. But the point I'm trying to make here is that again, when you die, dude, you dump that. Like your body naturally produces DMT,
Right.
and when you die, your body dumps that, dude. It dumps it right into your brain, dude, and
Yep.
you see whatever the fuck perception of whatever you have left until your brain death, and that's
Yep.
I think what people see and when people do have these like quote unquote afterlife experiences, I think, and then they live through them, I think they have a DMT dump and they survive. So they've had the DMT dump, but they're alive to realize what they've seen based on that DMT dump.
Right. Yeah. That's how we understand near-death experiences. Is we understand them. And Mayo Clinic has a bunch of fucking papers written about this, but because they studied it for a long time. But you're right. That's essentially what it is. It's the DMT dump in your brain to relieve that anxiety at the time of death, and you just sit there and hallucinate for the few last seconds that you're alive.
That's it. Yeah, it could be minutes or seconds or however long until brain death occurs. Until those
We have
toxins
evidence of
start
all of
taking
that, but what
the brain alive.
we don't have evidence. We don't have evidence of is an actual afterlife. We don't have any evidence that an actual afterlife exists.
Well, and so I started getting into the weeds about like actual afterlife and this and that. Like I think that actual afterlife is something that's man produced. Like we produce it to like calm our fears of fucking dying. And I hate it when people say personally, when people say like, "Oh, I'm not afraid to die." Like, dude, I'm afraid to die. You don't exist after that plane, dude. Like you fucking you're nothing. You're energy again. That's my belief personally. So I'm afraid to die. But
Well,
I think that, yeah, go ahead.
in 2012, I actually came excessively close to dying. Doctor's exact words: if I'd have been 5 minutes later to the ER, I would have flatlined. When I came out of that, I found that I no longer had a fear for it, because before I actually passed out, I told myself, "You're dead. This is it. You might as well accept it. There's nothing you can do to stop it. You're done."
Do you mind if I
And when
ask
I
what happened?
told myself that, well, hold on. When I told myself that, I just relaxed. I laid back in the gurney at the ER, and I just let it happen. And when I came out of that, I recognized that my anxiety around death was pretty much gone. Like I'm not really afraid to die. The way I see it, when I'm gone, I won't give a fuck.
Well, because there won't be anything, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of where my anxiety lies, though, is that I believe that there won't be anything after that, and like dude, like trust me, I'm not one of those people who like lives life to their fucking fullest or anything. Like I literally fucking am a single dad that drinks all day and works hard, but I don't fucking live my life to the fullest. Trust me, I'm not some
Right.
millionaire. It's some fucking awesome life. So, um, I do. I would rather choose the misery of everyday grind as opposed to like nothingness. But at the same time, there's the existential like, well, nothingness isn't going to matter to you because you're gone. And I guess that's the point of no return, which is fine. But relevantly speaking to what we're talking about is more so like that moment, right? The moment of passing. And there's some weird shit that I will say. I'm not spiritual. I'm not religious. I just got off alive with a uh, uh, Satanist, and we were talking very very deeply about like kind of what the beliefs are and things like that. The fact of the matter
Actually,
is like
I'm actually a Satanist, a member of the Satanic Temple.
yeah. So I mean, him and I we have some atheists and Satanists. He told me more so like it's not necessarily so much Satanist. It's more so humanism.
Yeah, it's what it is.
It's
So
it's it's,
yeah,
it's
that's
coming
exactly.
to belief with yourself and
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what's around you.
that's what the Satanic Temple is. It's a humanistic civil rights organization made up almost entirely of atheists. We just
Yeah.
use Satanism as a symbol to,
Yeah.
uh,
So that said, like, and my understanding of that, I can get behind that shit 100,000%, because like atheism is just avoid of, but this is more so like understanding, I guess, where we're
Well,
at.
here's
Like,
the
we're
thing.
not going to
Here's the
have.
thing. I think a lot of people probably share your fear. You know, that idea that once that you're here and then you're not.
That's it,
And it's
man.
more comfortable to think or believe that your consciousness would go on for eternity.
Yeah, I think comfortability is made human. All right, comfortability, in my opinion, is a human condition that has built religion. That is the sole builder of religion. That is it.
My position is that fear and control and manipulation are what built religion.
Yep, all that shit, dude. I agree 100%, man. And it sucks because look, I was telling this dude earlier, like I was like, man, I've done everything I could to be like these fucking Christian people and believe in a God and worship a God and think everything's gonna be okay, man. But like, my parents pressure me, like everyone pressures me, but it's just not. It's not possible for me, dude. Like it's not in my core being, you know.
Right.
It's not in my humanity. It's in no way, shape, or form ever going to happen. I can't. My
Not
mom's like,
everybody
"Oh, you should go to church.
like,
You'll be a nice girl." Like, yeah,
and,
okay.
you're the perfect example of what I would say about like people not having a choice in their beliefs. You're either convinced of something or you're not convinced of it.
Yeah, man. That's it. Like,
It's not a choice you can make.
It's not. It really isn't, dude. I really like. I wanted to try to like as I was younger, dude. Like, I'm 36 now. I think I'm 36. Shit.
Yeah,
But like
I'm with you there because this last year I actually forgot my age.
yeah, dude. But like I tried to, as I was younger, because my grandma, she was a saint. I loved her to death. She was Church of Christ. My dad and my mom, they're they don't practice religion, but they believe in God. But they've always tried to push it on me because I've gone through troubles in my life, and they don't practice it themselves. Wouldn't you
Right.
figure, right?
Yeah.
But like just like I've studied theology, not just Christianity, dude. Like Judaism, Hinduism. I have the fucking Rig Vedas in my fucking desk right here, dude. Like right next to me. Like I think the Vedas are fascinating.
Oh, dude, like Hinduism is a fascinating like philosophy, and so does Buddhism. And I don't normally have too many issues with those religions, to be honest. I mean, they still have their own checkered past. I just more or less see them as unnecessary. I don't know that we need them to thrive as a species. You know, there's a lot of people out there that say, well, if you don't have a God, how can you have a moral standard? Well, pretty easily, actually. It's called rational thinking.
Well, so that needs to be a philosophy of life of its own. Yeah, so sorry, my son's like fucking jumping on me, trying to tell me to deactivate a Switch timer.
Okay. Be a dad, man. It's awesome that you're doing that on your own because that's not easy.
Hey, baby, I'm in the middle of something. All right, I'm in the middle of a conversation. Can you go, please? First, just a minute. I'll be in there a second. Please go, please. Are you ready for bed?
No.
Okay, then.
I just want to be with my sweet daddy.
Sorry, dude. My boy, I love him to death, man. But so like, I guess what I'm trying to say is basically, I think that here, baby, here, go into the living room.
Lightning struck.
Hold on, sorry, 2 seconds, man. 2 seconds, please give me a second.
Do a shrine.
Keep that in there. I'll do a shrine for you later.
To 2,000 shrines.
Love you.
Love you too.
Sorry, bro.
That's all right.
And so okay, I guess let me jump ahead, man. To my son, he's 8. I don't force religion on him at all, and he
Good man.
nothing of any religion, and at any rate, he can decide on his own.
Good. That's how it should be.
Everyone's individual right to decide on their own.
Yeah, that's how it should be. The problem we run into is that Christians seem to think, by and large, that they need to force that nonsense onto people, and they do a lot of harm to children doing that.
No shit, man. Missionary trips is fucking
Oh yeah.
garbage.
Oh,
Like
it's horrible.
you cannot
Largest
tell me
colonizing force on the planet
fucking,
is the Christian religion.
you can't tell me you can go to Africa, to these undeveloped nations, and preach Christianity and steal their religions. That's colonization.
Yep,
And look,
100%.
I'm not an American liberal person by any chance. I'm not conservative. I'm not liberal. I'm a realist. I don't like Trump. I don't like Biden. Politics aside, I like what I understand as being valid in reality.
Yep.
And no two-party system in America. I don't agree with any politics. It's all garbage.
Well, I mean, I agree with you that both Biden and Trump are garbage, but there is a stark difference between the two.
Oh, sure there is, but neither
Trump
are
is just a fucking idiot. Biden is a establishment Democrat, so he's going to do what politicians do, and he's not going to change the status quo. But of the two, that status quo is a hell of a lot less evil than what Trump was going to do. And the damage that Trump left behind in the wake of his presidency, we're going to be feeling that shit for a while. That's like a
I don't think we'll be feeling it for a while.
that's like a paddle with holes in it. There's going to be wealth.
I think it'll fizzle out. I do think it'll fizzle out relatively quickly.
Not before they got Roe v. Wade, not before they try to overturn the 2015 Supreme Court decision to allow same-sex marriage, not before Greg Abbott fucks Texas further into the ground, followed by Oklahoma, Florida, Arkansas, Mississippi.
Dude, I'm from Texas, and I've been getting fucking phone calls every fucking other day about like, oh, Greg Abbott's holding the fucking blah 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 blah. Would you like to participate? I'm from Texas. I'm in Texas right now. I get the phone calls saying, "Do you want to be in a live town hall?" Like, why the fuck do you have my number? But no,
did you register at any time as either a Democrat or a Republican?
No. Well, no, I registered as a fucking independent. I've always been a fucking independent.
Why. That registration gets your number. But if you have an opportunity to go to town hall and make Greg Abbott look stupid, man, do it. Because if I was in fucking Texas, I would sure as hell go to that local meeting and make him look stupid as fuck.
Fuck Greg Abbott. Fuck Ted Cruz. Fuck all them fucks.
Yeah, I agree. But, I mean, look at the madness that is being spread by the Republican Party. I mean, I get it. That neither party is
I know, dude. You can't
doing jack shit for the American public. I get it. But the conservatives are so far the fuck off the deep end at this point, it would just be dumb to vote for him.
Well, I wouldn't vote for him, but I would take. Well, okay, let's go back to this. This is the lesser of the two evils sort of battle, and right. I don't like. I guess I consider myself more of an independent thinker, which would be more of an independent vote or a libertarian vote, maybe.
Well, the problem I have with libertarians, and by and large, is that they don't seem to think that they need to participate in society.
Well, libertarian doesn't necessarily cover all bases, though. So you can say you're libertarian, but it doesn't mean you're a cookie cutter libertarian, I guess. It's a weird fucking zone, dude. Like,
it seems to be. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, if that's how people want to identify, that's fine. But unfortunately, we live in a two-party system. The third party is never good. The third party is never going to be an option for starters because they can't put up a candidate that's worth jack shit.
Nope. And it sucks because I am that third party. Like, I don't believe a lot of the things from either parties, but I know where dude, I'm pro-choice, very pro-choice, and I'm in Texas. Like, it's not something that is okay in Texas. They've made extensive laws that are actually the worst in the country for pro-choice.
Yeah, like I said, the Satanic Temple filed lawsuit against the state of Texas for that shit.
See, dude, look, I guess spread the awareness, because like I'm starting to learn a lot. Like, as of tonight, like this is the first time I've ever talked to. You're the second satanic worshiper that I've talked to tonight, and like, the first one I talked to, we talked in depth about a lot of shit, but like ultimately, we talked about the origin of Satanism, right? We talked about like Enkidu, like fucking all that shit back way back when. You know, we talked about him being a fallen angel, being Samael, the one who spread knowledge, gave us all the knowledge.
But yeah, he
And
wasn't the fallen
God
angel
didn't.
though. He
What's
wasn't
that?
the fallen angel. He wasn't the fallen angel. The word Satan is an old Hebrew word that translates to the adversary or the accuser. And in the Bible, the word Satan is referenced. It's kind of like a title, like doctor is a title.
Well, same as Lucifer. It was translated wrong.
No, Satan isn't Lucifer. Satan is actually referenced. It's a title reference to use like I think they used it on like 7 different people in the Bible.
Yes.
Lucifer was a demigod. Lucifer is not the accuser. He's not the adversary of. He was a demigod from the Jewish pantheon.
Yes.
And the devil is an agent of Yahweh who does Yahweh's bidding. But see, I don't know that Lucifer in the Bible was ever referenced as by using the word Satan.
Not at all. Not once.
Nope. They're completely
Samael.
non-related.
Samael in the Old Testament or in the Quran or in the fuck, my mind is. I'm sorry, I've been drinking tonight, but my mind is not working great. Samael is referenced in the
Yep.
fucking goddamn it, dude. Jews. What was their fucking
Yeah,
Bible?
Samael was referenced as Satan in one part of the book.
But that was it. But there wasn't him. By the way,
Beelzebub was
it wasn't a
referenced.
single person. It wasn't a single
No, it
angel.
wasn't the person. It was like several different people.
And by the way, so okay, can I give you my theory that I told him that I talked about
Yeah.
with him? I don't believe that. So I believe that once we're here for a minute and then we die. And there's nothing else after that. I believe there are many other planets, many other places, and there are many other life forms. I believe that other life forms came here, and I believe that Satan, Lucifer, Samael, whomever, imparted knowledge on us that we weren't allowed to have. That they told him they're not allowed to have this knowledge, but he gave it to us.
See, my thing is that I don't believe in any of those characters exist at all, and we can actually track our scientific discoveries. If you get well versed enough in history, you could take the television and you can go back and read about how we came up with the idea for the television, or the cell phone, or the car, or anything. Scientific discovery didn't just suddenly explode here in our species. We've always been curious about the nature of our reality. The thing is, early on, we didn't have the tools we needed to further investigate things. It took a long, long, long time for our species to mature enough to a point where we could really look at the nature of reality and understand the science behind it. And even though, I mean, in the last 75 years, we've like made a huge leap forward, we still haven't even scratched the fucking surface. I mean, our species is 300,000 years old, and we've only been doing advanced science for the last 75 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's another thing I talked to him about. Like, dude, we've been around for a long fucking time. Maybe even longer than we think. Maybe even longer than 300,000 years, dude. Like, we may have been around for a long fucking time, dude.
Well, no, as far as we know, our species is roughly between 200 and 300,000 years old.
As far
The
as we
species
know.
that we evolved from probably is a lot older.
Yeah. I mean, it's nuts, man. But, like, to think that there are certain objects in humanity that were built by humans that they say are 3,000 years old or 2,000 years old. A lot of that shit, I think, is probably misdated, man. Like, you got to look at like Puma Punku and Teotihuacan and Darren Kuyu, things like that, man. Like, you're like, come on, man.
Well, Christians are a little narrow when it comes to their personal beliefs,
It
and
tells me.
they don't like facts.
Yeah, man. So let me tell you what's kind of led me on this path, man. To like not necessarily look at Satanism or anything like that, but just to look at all religions as a whole and kind of make my own opinion was really honestly like just one person that questioned it that I read his book and I liked it and I was like, well, okay, let's look. It was Eric von Daniken. Have you heard of him?
No,
Well, so Eric von Daniken in the 70s wrote a book called Chariots of the Gods.
I have heard of the book.
Okay, so that book ultimately led to the ancient alien theory, which I'm all in for.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
I
not.
think
I have
that
no evidence at all to support the ancient alien theory, and those people are absolute. They irritate me to no end.
well, yeah, you have to take some part of it. So, okay, so what part I think of is so they think that everything was done by aliens. I think that human ingenuity has been around for a lot longer than we think. Is kind of the point I was getting to. I think
Well,
human ingenuity has been something that has been around for 300 fucking thousand years at least, minimum.
no, it hasn't. I mean, we can do archaeology and prove that wrong. We didn't.
So,
We actually know when human beings started making tools. We know when they started developing written language. We don't necessarily know when they started developing language, but we know when they started developing the ability to write it down.
so
And uh, we have a rough estimate. But as far as like starting to make tools and stuff like that, we have a really good idea based on archaeology of when human beings started to develop different things to help them survive in nature.
so what is that? What is that
We can track all of those advancements.
kind of?
Now, not kind of. We're really good at it. Archaeology is a pretty prevalent science.
Well, so here's where I have to interject and where I disagree is because archaeology is based on a kind of a backslappers kind of if you don't disagree you're out of the club sort of situation.
Not necessarily.
And I think that there may be things that
I mean,
you
if you're gonna give us a natural explanation for how mankind
well
learned to do things, then you're gonna get the benefit of the doubt. But if you're gonna sit there and try to say that, ooh, aliens did it
no, I don't.
without evidence,
I'll never say aliens did it. That's not what I'm saying. I think we've been around for a lot longer. The reason I brought up that ancient aliens theory is more so to kind of elaborate on the
well, the thing is,
long.
the evidence that I know of up to this point, coming from archaeologists and evolutionary biologists, is that the oldest skeleton we know of that matches our own, that is of the same subspecies we are, is only between 200 and 300,000 years old. We have no evidence of
No, no, I
our
know that.
specific
That's what I
genome existing before that,
no, I agree. That's what I said. 300,000 years ago. That's what I said. If
right?
you recall,
I don't know that we immediately started having advancements based on our species.
I think we don't know though. I mean, shit, dude. 300,000
Well,
years
I
from
mean, if you were, I'm sorry, but we haven't found a Mac computer that's
well,
buried
okay,
in the ground next to a dead skeleton. I mean,
no,
you understand what I'm saying? There's
no, I,
there's a measure there's a map of our advancement alongside of us.
yeah.
The pottery, spears, knives, getting into the Stone Age, Bronze Age, learning how to manufacture steel. We tracked all of that.
So, can you imagine a civilization that was super advanced, like hyper advanced, that had no waste because they figured the shit out? Like they figured it. I
Again,
know
I'm
that's
gonna hold on, man. Stop. I'm gonna say this again because no, we don't have that. There's absolutely no evidence of that at all. We have
yeah.
our fossil record as far back as about roughly 300,000 years.
And in that fossil record, you can map the tools that we use, the things that we made over time, and how better it got based on the more we learned.
Yeah.
There was nothing in there that said we were a super advanced species. There's no reason to believe that.
There isn't. I guess honestly, maybe it's part of me that is hopeful that it happened.
Why?
You know, I don't know.
What difference would it make? It has
You
no
know,
actual impact on your life today.
Well, I do think it does in a small way. I think
Like,
it's more
like how?
It's we have this big grandiose theory that we're the best that has ever been, right, for humanity. Like we're the pinnacle of technology. We are the pinnacle of
That we know of.
That we know of. So my point is, like, what if there was a civilization that occurred that didn't have any waste because they figure out how to deal with their waste? Like we're dealing with a plastic problem, right? Dude, we're dealing with a huge problem with waste as humanity right now. What if they figured that out before us? Yeah, maybe they didn't have MacBooks, maybe they didn't have social media, but keep in mind, man,
I'm telling you that advanced species never existed. They would have left behind some trace evidence. Maybe not their garbage, but they would have left behind some tools they used or some things they used to make the achievements. So we don't have any record of that at all. And it's asinine to think that we had all of that figured out and then suddenly didn't. For no reason, just suddenly dead. Stop. No more. We have all of this advanced technology, and now we're making clay pots again. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, the only sense I can make of it is a natural disaster, but I tend to,
if they were that advanced, I think they would be able to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with you. It's fanciful thinking, to be honest with you.
It is very fanciful thinking, and I give more credit to the idea that we will be better in 100 years than we are now, provided we stop fucking around with shitty beliefs.
That's it. That's really it, dude. Beliefs are the things that fucking kill us, dude.
Every
wars are all based on
there's
fucking
two
beliefs.
forces that are inherently human that fuck us every time, and that is greed and fear, or religion. Those two things fuck every goddamn entire empire that has ever existed all throughout history has fallen because of one of those two things or a combination of those two things. And it's never really been anything else.
No, man. Can we look at it right now, today, right now, dude? Russia invading fucking Ukraine is all about fucking greed.
Yep.
It's all about fucking a personality. One motherfucker has just this personality that wants to take it.
He's a product of the Cold War, man. This is why we got to get old fuckers out of politics. They're still stuck in their heyday.
God, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely 100% right, dude. But they have to just die. And the unfortunate part is they spread that shit to their fucking kids. Like, you look at any, communist fucking ruled country, like Kim Jong-un. God damn, dude. Like, that shit was just passed to him. He didn't know any better.
Species, one of the problems we have as a human species is that we're trying to build societies based on permanence. And we have to recognize we can't do that.
No.
Time is always moving forward and things are always changing. We need to build a society that can move more fluidly with the changes that come.
And more importantly, with sustainability. Dude, fuck.
Well, I mean, that's definitely part of it, right? But in order to get to the sustainability part, we have to give up on the idea that everything has to be for profit.
Oh, dude. Oh, trust me. I completely 100% agree with that shit.
We've got to get away from this idea that there needs to be a monetary system at all.
We are in a fucking we are in a business. We live every day of our lives in a business.
Yep.
Whether we want to or not, dude. We are employees of the U.S. government.
Yep. It's not even just that. We're employees of the world economy, because no matter what political ideology people have, at the basis of their country, it's all about money.
We fucking started it.
Well, I'm not sure we started it, but we definitely got better at it than everybody else.
We made it big. We made it big. We were the bank that everyone wanted. Yeah, we
Still
just
do.
started.
If the
Yeah,
U.S. economy collapses, the entire world economy collapses.
I believe that at one point, but now I think that Russia's threats, I have doubts about that.
I mean, I think we all do. I think there's an industrialized complex somewhere. I mean, I don't believe in a hidden society, but I do believe that the powers that be have a certain vested interest and a certain agenda at hand. And the way to keep that going is to keep us confused and stupid and angry at each other for dumb fucking reasons so they can continue to maintain some level of power control.
TikTok. Look, dude, I think I like I didn't watch The Social Dilemma, but I am familiar with like the Sophocles' fucking speech at the beginning of it. Nothing vast enters the world of man without a fucking curse, right? Look at our fucking
Yeah.
curse. It's here right now.
Well,
It does have benefits, dude, but at the same time, man, like
eventually,
social media.
the one thing you've got to recognize about us is that progression never stops. It might slow down, but it never stops.
Nope.
So, for all of the posturing and all of the bullshit and all the power grabbing and greed that we see today, eventually it's going to end. It's going to taper off. The system can't
Well,
continue the way it is.
well, no, you're right about that, but the unfortunate truth is like we have the technology to end life as we know it as human beings with that technology.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part. And it's a probability, man.
Well, and that's
like,
why we need to not let evangelical Christians rule this country. Because as soon as evangelical Christians rule this country, that dystopian future becomes a real possibility.
well, dystopian Christians are one thing, but there's other matters at hand, man. Like, yeah, I don't think these fuckers should rule the country. I believe in separation of church and state, which, by the way, has not happened. Like, we can say it's happened all day, but it hasn't.
I mean, there's been periods where there was like a separation. That's how like Roe v. Wade kind of got into effect. Here's what
Yeah, but that's still up for
I
debate
mean.
today, right? I mean, it's
We're
still
we
being
need
fought
to
against,
we need to codify that shit into absolute law that there cannot be a religious um inspiration in our government, period. Those two entities need to remain absolutely separate because the government needs to function under the idea that people have individual rights and they need to do so from a rational consideration of consequence. We cannot develop a society based on faith.
No, but it always will coincide some way, shape, or form. And I'll tell you why. Each country, shit, I was in the Navy, dude. I've been to many different countries, Islam countries, Catholic countries, many different countries. What all laws in every country is respectively based on their religion, including ours, by the way.
U.S.
What's that?
The U.S. doesn't do that.
Well,
We
they
don't.
do. We just
We
pretend like we
well,
don't.
no. The three major laws the United States has is do not bear false witness, do not murder, and do not steal. Those are literally the only three laws that are even tangentially related to Christianity. But those existed in our species before Christianity existed, so they're not
Code of
even really
Hammurabi.
Christian laws.
Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, what do we do whenever we still swear on Bibles?
We don't have to. You can choose what book to swear on. You don't have to choose. You don't have to swear on the Bible.
Shouldn't swear on shit. I
If
shouldn't have
if
to
I was in
divulge my
court right now,
religion.
I could request. If I was in court right now and I was set to testify for something, I could swear on Carl Sagan's A Demon Haunted World.
Carl Sagan's the man.
He is the man. In this book, if you have not read Carl Sagan's A Demon Haunted World, you need to order this book and read it. Because if there's anybody I've ever fucking read about that was better at prophecy, so to speak, it's this guy.
He was a genius, man.
In this book, this man, he guessed literally, that human beings would behave the way they're behaving today. That science would take a
Well,
huge hit. That
he
Go
also
ahead.
believed in the unknown, man. The extraterrestrial presence.
Well, I mean, I believe that I believe aliens exist in other on other planets. I do not believe that they've ever visited Earth, but I believe that they could potentially exist.
Yeah, I think in some way, shape, or form that there's something out there. I don't know. All right, so I was Navy from 2004 to 2012, and I saw some fucking shit, brother. I'm not gonna fucking lie to you. I saw some shit. It's nothing that I can't talk about, that I've been sworn to secrecy about, or anything like that. But I'll just tell you my one experience that really stood out to me that I'll never forget in my life was, I went out on the starboard troop walkway to smoke a cigarette in the middle of the night in the middle of the Atlantic, which we're not allowed to do. But I went out there to smoke, and me and my friend Vinny were out there smoking. And if you're in the middle of the Atlantic, by the way, there's no lights, dude. It's dark as shit. You can't see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah.
You can see some moonlight, and that's all that you can see. It's darker than anything you've ever seen. And we were out there smoking, just talking shit outside of CIC, and we saw something just shoot from the water, just a semi-bright light shoot from the water, just gone, dude. Just made no sound, just no splash, nothing, just gone. And there's been,
One of the problems with human beings is when we see something we can't explain, we try to find ways to rationalize it by trying to explain it. The answer to all of that is, hey, I saw this thing, but I don't know what it was.
ultimately, yeah.
That's the intellectually honest thing to say, because you don't know what it was.
No, I mean that is true. We saw it and don't know what it was intellectually. Couldn't say, but I can tell you that there's no earthly explanation for it right now at this point in time.
Well, maybe. We don't know.
Unless it was some random shit that the military was working on that we didn't know about.
Well, it's possible. There could be any number of explanations. The idea that it was an alien craft is one of them, but again, we don't know. And I avoid making speculative and assertive assumptions about things, because that just leads us nowhere, and I think it's an intellectual mistake. But I appreciate you, man. We've been talking for a minute. I appreciate you. I think you've got a good head on your shoulders, which is rare apparently these days. Hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Hey, man, you too, man. Appreciate talking to you, man. Thanks for having me on, man.
Anytime, brother. Thanks a lot.
Have a good one.
You too.
I know that there are 3 people in the queue waiting to jump on here and have a conversation. I want you, all 3 of you, to come back and resubmit your guest requests. I'm going to restart this live, and I want you guys to come back and resubmit your guest requests. We're going to restart now.